we are back. Nice little riff on a Monday. A Wednesday, I should say, with many more playoff implications. Many more teams have clinched. Three more teams have clinched. Padres Monday via the walk-off, Sean. Yankees yesterday via the walk-off. And Mariners yesterday as well. So three new teams have clinched. Playoff picture starting to set itself. More movement in the standings, a la AL Central, which is some crazy shit. We'll get all into all that and more today. But first, Shawnee, how are you feeling on a Wednesday? It was rainy in Philly yesterday, but we got through it.
What we said, I think what we kind of said last time, still it held a little true. Besides one thing, not a lot of the stuff was going to flip flop. There was going to be some crazy shit happen, and it did. The Cleveland Guardians they haven't officially done it yet, but came all the way back and are now leading their division of the AL Central. I mean,
Yep.
I guess that's the good first thing to get into all the way is the Cleveland Guardians are taking on Detroit right now. And guess what? The Cleveland Guardians got it done last night, not only against Detroit, but against the Cy Young winner, Tariq Skubal, who's apparently this big, bad man. This big, bad man. All Tigers fans want you to believe. Just kidding. I'm not going to paint a picture like Tariq Skubal isn't the best pitcher in the MLB because he is. But the point I'm trying to make is the Cleveland Guardians are just getting it done. That's all they're doing. They're just getting done. They're winning after winning. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're like 17-3 instead. I don't even know what it is. It was like 15-2 or something like that in September. This is one of the craziest runs I have ever seen. And also, we were talking about it, probably the craziest collapse we've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that. Let's talk about the clinchers and movement in the standings. But first, this is episode 58 of Sean Spit of the Morning, presented by Off Base Media. Wednesday, September 24th, which is crazy. I think our last episode of the week, because we're not going to do our Wet Hot American Weekend Friday, but we will be back on Monday to recap it. And Monday is also the last day of the season, so we have the last few days here, and then Monday. But first, Sean, you talked about it. We can get into some of those recent clinchers. Two of them did it via the walk-off. M's clinch. They never really clinched playoff spots, so good for them in their history. Yankees always clinch. It's the 60th time in their history, 8 times in the last 9 years. And then you look at teams in this AL Central, as you talked about. Tigers. Holy fucking shit. Great to pay homage to Cleveland. Also, fuck you, Detroit. 15.5 games up they were on July 8th. They were 9.5 games up on them less than 2 weeks ago. Now Guardians win, and they secured the tiebreaker. So they do have the same record, but as you said, they are in first place and lead the Central because they have the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm. They So when I bring this up, Spin, what do you think is the most glaring thing that is happening right now what do you think is causing all of this for the Tigers?
That's a great question. I maybe it's a lack of depth. Maybe there's peaks and valleys to every team, and their peaks were early and their valleys were late, which is terrible. If it was the other way around, we'd probably be looking at them like how we look at Cleveland right now. But I think you have Stephen Vogt and Cleveland team that is not going to quit. And they never said die. This is like the craziest comeback of all time. Like, I don't know the actual stat, but like someone should look into that. Where's Terrence in our research department? Hey, Terrence, you know what I mean? Like, that is literally like the craziest 15.5 games back. So yeah, terrible collapse. I personally don't love when the face of the organization is a pitcher and he pitches once every 5th day. I kind of want the face of the organization to be in the starting lineup every day. Personally, I think you look at the All-Star game and you look at the Tigers, how they performed at the All-Star game, right? They didn't look great. I don't know if they carried that over to the entirety of the second half, but I don't know how much depth they have in the pitching staff. I know Finnegan got hurt. That doesn't help, but he's back now. So, hello, that was your big trade line acquisition. Let's get Finnegan back in there. Let's get the back end of the bullpen with Will Vest and Finnegan. When that was great, when that was good, it was great. Now I don't know where it's at. I don't know how the rest of the pitching staff besides Skubal looks, and I don't know what the depth looks like in that lineup. You like to believe it's really good, but when you think of the team, like who's the face of that offense, I don't know. I guess this year it was Riley Green, but if he's trended down even a little bit, I don't know if it's enough to stay afloat. And then you look at Cleveland, and they're just treading in the opposite direction. So crazy stuff happening there in the Central for sure.
So you have on the hitting side, which is kind of interesting to me. The last 30 days, one of the biggest things that I'm looking at right now is the power has insanely dropped. Over the last 30 days, there's only 2 guys with 4 home runs on their team, Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter, and they're hitting under 250. Gleyber Torres, one of your all-star starters, is hitting a solid 242 with 3 home runs in the last 30 days. And then I think, another one was Zach McKinstry. That was another all-star, if I'm not mistaken,
He
right?
was, yep.
Batting 222 in the last 30 days. And then good old Javi Baez.
Yeah, absent.
Seems like he's back to .111 on his what am I trying to say? On his batting average the last 30 days. Then on the pitching side of things, Spin, your top 5 pitchers who have the most innings pitched for you. Listen to the ERAs. You have Tariq Skubal, 1.75 ERA, but a 2-3 record. He has a 1.75 ERA. He has pitched 36 innings, and he has a 2-3 record, Spin. How the fuck does that happen?
It's a classic case of when the pitching shows up, the offense doesn't. Maybe when the offense shows up, the pitching doesn't. Fucking
And then
terrible.
you get to Casey Mize, 2-2, 4.97 ERA. Jack Flattery, 1-1, 2.7. Troy Melton, 0-1, 2.6. Charlie Morton, 0-1, 11.65.
Yeah, but still, Morton, they don't think they give a shit about. Well,
No.
you want them to give innings and give good outings and shit like that. But for the most part, you mentioned enough pitchers with good ERAs who have been pitching well enough to keep you in ball games and even win ball games. It looks like the offense hasn't been doing absolute jack shit.
For the Tigers, I feel like all along it was never. What am I trying to say here? They were never going to blow it out of the water in the home run department. They were never going to they were just going to almost play the same ball that the Cleveland Guardians are playing. They were going to play situational baseball. They were going to hit when it mattered. They were going to hit for average. They had a lot of guys in the lineup who were hitting at the time. They didn't have a bunch of standout, of course, Riley Green's, he's a star. But they don't have a bunch of standout stars. They were playing very team-oriented baseball. But guess what? That team-oriented baseball kind of got thrown out the window, and now everybody seems to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I guess they were all hot at the same time, and then sometimes what happens, you all get cold at the same time, and this is almost that to the extreme because they got cold and they are freezing right now.
Yeah.
Are they on a 7-game losing streak? Is that what it is? 7-game losing
streak.
Yeah, yep. They are 1-9 in their last 10. And if you want to go a little bit transition into tonight's bangers, we could talk about that series because it's Jack Flaherty versus Tanner Baby. Cleveland, we said this, they're in first because of with the tiebreaker for the same record. And they did it against Skubal yesterday. This team shows no signs of stopping. They have Flaherty tonight. And we talked about before, we could shit on Detroit, but we could also praise Cleveland. I think both things can be true.
Yeah, we got to give them some love.
Yeah, both things are true. And Tanner Bibee, whatever the fuck, he's been the ace that they needed, and their whole staff has been really good for Cleveland. So, and Cleveland is the home team. They're the hotter team. You almost want to say, hey, Cleveland could stand alone in first place tonight.
They could.
And they kind of do. They kind of do because of the tiebreaker. But I'm saying record-wise, they could have a game up on Detroit.
Their pitching has been so unbelievably good this entire run, and that's where it's really sprung from. And then because nobody in the opposite end, minus Jose Ramirez, is going to have blow you away stats, right? There's just nobody on that team that's going to really jump off the paper to you. But the pitching wise, I mean, we talked about it last game. Slade looks like a beast right now. Gavin Williams looks unbelievable. Tanner Bibee looks good. Even like a Cade Smith or like a Parker Messick.
Yep.
Like they've got just these guys coming out of the woodwork who said, hey, we're not some scrubs. We're in the bigs. It's time for us to nut up or shut up. And God damn, they nutted up, Spin.
I mean, when you look at yesterday's game, they lost 5-2. I know Green hit a home run. So that's really it. He scored 2 runs. One of them comes off a solo shot for tough to win games. That's like your main source of offense right there, It's
just pretty cool to see a team like this who everybody wrote off, especially, I mean, we wrote off
multiple times. Yeah.
We wrote off multiple times that they just said, hey, what the fuck do you guys actually know?
Yeah. Well, no one expected this.
Yeah. Except for a guy in our comments, apparently.
He's a real hardcore believer. I think it's almost like an ignorance is bliss type of thing, right? You're so dumb that you can actually anticipate the craziest stuff to happen. Because I don't think it's ever happened before. This is kind of a historical fucking thing. And you talked about it, and this is the craziest thing. We talk about Cleveland. Yes, Bieber would be a part of this team, and said he's pitching. He's secured a spot with the Toronto, and he's part of that squad now because that was a trade deadline piece. You talk about the Class A's and the Luis Ortizes of the world. You talk about also look at the deadline here that they had. Mostly were sellers. I don't know who they brought in really, and if anything, they were kind of losers at the deadline in the sense of they couldn't sell Class A, right? Because the gambling shit. So that kind of hurts them too. Imagine if they would have had, and even Class A wasn't his production wasn't that of Emmanuel Class A before he got popped for this shit.
No, he was all over the place. He was one of our biggest ones in our arguments that bullpen sucked this year.
Yeah. So he wasn't pitching well from a production standpoint, and then he gets popped for that shit. I don't think they really missed him too much. I remember he cleared out his locker and shit. Then you have Luis Ortiz prior to Class A. So it's like those are arms that we all know arms matter down the stretch, especially bullpen arms. And in the past, he's been a terrific bullpen arm. They've been doing it without him. They've been doing it without like a 4 or 5 starter. But I think when you lose Ortiz, that might make room for a Parker Messick perhaps. And he's been spectacular. So I guess some of these things have been a blessing in disguise. They lose arms, and again, maybe not winners or losers at the deadline. Very a stagnant deadline, I guess, for them. But they didn't know where the fuck they were. No one knew where they were. And if anything, you could argue they were losers because of what the position Emmanuel Clase put them in. Now you can't sell Clase because he got popped for something. So that kind of sucked. And again, I don't know who they brought in, but you look at some of these other collapses. Like Detroit had a pretty hefty deadline. Wynn was the big splash, but they brought in a lot of arms. Houston, who's also falling a little bit, they currently don't hold a playoff spot. They were considered winners at the deadline. They made some splashes. Carlos Correa to kind of fill the void of Paredes. Paredes might come back soon. I don't know, but they did other stuff as well. And then who's the other team that might fall? The Mets. They weren't like losers at the deadline. They touched on a lot of their bullpen. They brought in Cedric Mullins to be the center fielder, who's good defensively. He could steal bases and shit like that. And you look at those teams. Those are 3 teams that could fall or are falling. And it's not like they had bad deadlines. Where meanwhile, Cleveland, right? Diamondbacks were sellers. They're on the cusp.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see where we are now. Speaking of which, let's transition to some of those teams. Should we go? I know I talked about Houston. So should we go to that one? It's Brown versus Severino because Houston's in a similar boat as Detroit. They're on a 4-game losing streak, though, so not as bad. But Houston doesn't own a playoff spot. They're going to try to rally behind Hunter Brown tonight, Sean.
The only thing that they're lucky that the Guardians and Tigers are playing each other right now because it means somebody's going to lose. In reality, and they can rally around Hunter Brown tonight. And actually, probably, I don't know if they have a tiebreaker against anybody right now. That'd be interesting to see, like the Guardians or the Tigers, who Astros fans are rooting for right now.
Parents, get on.
But it is nice because they are lucky that is happening because one of them has to lose. It's not like they're playing separate opponents and both of them can win and the Houston Astros just can't get in now. But Houston Astros can't even really focus on them right now because guess what? They're on a 4-game losing streak right now and just lost to the orphaned A's last night and the Lancaster Milkman.
Yep.
What are you doing? I mean, we talked about it. We're like, this is the Houston Astros. This is theirs until somebody takes it from them. Well, guess what? This would be the end of kind of an era spin.
Yeah.
End of an era. We just looked it up right before this, or Terrence just looked it up right before this. 2016 was the last time the Houston Astros did not make the playoffs, I think.
Yep.
That's almost a decade of playoff baseball spin and competitive playoff baseball, not just sneaking in. They win in World Series, making ALCSs. It would be wild to see it kind of come to an end.
Yeah, crazy. And they won a World Series 2022. Doesn't feel like that long ago. Yeah, from the years of 2017 to 2023, I think those were all ALCS appearances. A few pennants came out of them in 2 World Series. Last year they got bumped pretty early, and now this year they may not make the playoffs at all. So you're starting to see that trend. But they're holding on for dear life. I mean, they're not totally out of it. They're 1 game back. But Cleveland's certainly making things interesting there. And like you said, Houston, yes, you can look at Cleveland and Detroit, and if you're Houston, okay, someone has to lose. Maybe we can, take advantage of that. But bottom line is you have to win. They haven't won in about 4 games. They're on a 4-game losing streak. So, yes, if you're Houston, you have to worry about yourselves right now and just worry about winning, and everything else can take care of itself. And they have to rally behind Hunter Brown, who's going to be a Cy Young candidate this year. Good guy to do it against. This is win day. There's a lot of aces today. So win day, it's win day. But guess what? It was win day for Detroit yesterday behind Scooble, and they couldn't do it. So let's see if Sevy and the A's can play spoiler. That would be crazy. They did yesterday and knocked them out of a spot. Ooh.
Also, the Texas Rangers are on an 8-game losing streak, and the Royals just passed them in the wild card standing.
Yeah,
They're both eliminated, but like it's still it's just pretty funny to me.
That was another thing. Yeah, if we want to look at the AL side, the Royals officially eliminated yesterday, and Texas. Holy fucking shit! Texas and Cleveland, I thought would kind of be opposites this year.
Yeah, same.
At least because I was also kind of hoping. I was like Bochy and shit because they got hot a little bit. I was like maybe they do something, and then Cleveland, we have to root against them because of that one dude in the comments want to have the last laugh. But
AJ Hinch,
I might owe that kid a fucking. Well, I'm not gonna owe him shit. Shit changes from month to month. Okay, so give me a break.
AJ Hinch, you know how frustrated he's got to be right now with the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, and I don't know if they have a huge window. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. You could argue that they could, this season's not over. They can still sneak into the playoffs and get hot at the right time and maybe go on a little bit of a run. Like, that's not impossible. They still hold the playoff spot, by the way. Houston's kind of the one who's on the outside looking in now. But, yeah, if you're Hinch, who's kind of used to doing these things, as soon as he came into Detroit, it felt like that organization got turned around a little bit. And now it's like, oh, fuck, they were the opposite last year. They're crumbling late now. Last year, they got really hot at the right time and snuck in. So they're the opposite. Should we talk about the Mets? Because they're opposite of last year, too. They got real hot second half and at the right time last year. Now they've been at a slow little collapse, and they've been really bad as of late. They did win yesterday, so they stand alone as a 6th seed. There's a time that it was a little tied with maybe the D-backs looking in, and they were tied with the Reds. But now they stand alone because the Reds lost, but the Diamondbacks won, but the Mets also won. Yeah. So the Mets stand alone there.
Padres also clinch, by the way. Padres also clinch. Yeah.
And the Padres clinch. The Mets, though, with Boyd tonight, we got to see them lose. It's going to be hard if you are the Reds because Reds have the Pirates. The Reds had to win yesterday. They didn't. Now they have Skeens tonight. So good luck if you're the fucking Reds. They keep fucking up their chances, too.
Yeah, nobody wants this last place spot except maybe the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are the only ones in the past couple of days. Or honestly, we've been talking about the Reds taking the Mets spot for the past 3 fucking weeks. Yeah. And every single time they get close, they put fucking shit down their leg. They're like, oh my God, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. Guess what? We're gonna suck tonight. Previously we're gonna go on a 4-game sweep of our division rivals of the Chicago Cubs, but we can't beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, what are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing? The Cubs also can't help themselves either. I mean, it's not that they're like really looking to do anything. They're kind of set in stone right here. They might move if the Padres win, they lose, whatever. But they're on a 5-game losing streak right now. Just beat, oh my God. It makes me so frustrated because I would love to see the Mets out of the playoffs, but the Mets might just be getting so unbelievably lucky that everybody sucked when they sucked this year. And right now, they might win some games when it's needed and sneak into October.
Yeah. And then, by the way, Diamondbacks and Reds both 1 game behind the Mets after yesterday's antics. D-backs will face Blake Snell and the Dodgers. So it's not like they have an easy task either. So
yeah, they pulled it off last night.
Skeens and Hunter Green in that Reds series. Reds win and the Mets lose. Well, Matthew Boyd today for the Cubbies, so the Mets have their work cut out for them too. Against Jonah Tong, young guy versus an all-star this year. So it could be interesting. Maybe the Cubbies can get back on track tonight, snap that losing streak. Reds have their work cut out for them against Skeens, and D-backs have a 2-time Cy Young and a first-place Dodgers team to try to win 2 in a row against and get into playoff contention. That's that. And you also brought up the Padres, how they clinched. They're looking to sweep the Brewers, and I know both these teams do currently have a playoff spot. That's cool, but Chad Patrick versus Dylan Cease tonight could be interesting. Like I said, Padres look to sweep, but the Padres are playing for home field advantage. Milwaukee wants to secure the 1 seed as well. By the way,
they need Dylan Cease to get his swagger back, ASAP. They need
a great 2 or 3 starter for them come playoff time. Padres 1.5 games back in the NL West, so it's not impossible for the Padres to secure a division lead there, or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it does, but if they can surpass the Cubs, who have a 5-game losing streak, Padres on a 4-game win streak, they would have home field advantage for the wild card spot. So they still have something to play for, and the Brewers do as well, because the Phillies could still. It's not impossible for them to be the 1 seed. So these teams, they did clinch, but they still have something to play for.
Yeah, that's fair. I like where your head's at with that Philadelphia 1 seed, but the what I think is going to happen is I think a lot of it's going to stay a little bit more or less the same. I don't know. Sorry, I actually don't know the much of the series that are coming up this weekend. So actually, I can't say that. Like, I don't know who's got what this series coming up and stuff like that. But if the Diamondbacks can go into Chavez Ravine, I mean, actually do it in the desert. Sorry, do it in the desert. That'd be freaking awesome. I would say that. I don't like the Diamondbacks because of what they did to us. I don't. I hate them. I don't want to go to the desert. I don't like Chase Field.
Yep.
I fucking hate everything to do with that goddamn stadium. I hate everybody on the Arizona Diamondbacks. But I will say this, it'd be cool. They were sellers at the deadline, and if they make this happen, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a baseball fan. I can admit it. I can admit it would be cool. Like, I can admit I didn't want the Guardians to do it, but this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Also, Arizona Diamondbacks, Perdomo does not get enough credit that he is really good at baseball. Walked off the Dodgers last night. He has been the unsung hero and probably the most underrated player in the entire MLB this year.
I can get behind that.
He's just been unfreaking believable. How his team has struggled up, down, all the way. Like, Ketel Marte obviously has been great. Corbin Carroll obviously been great. We know that already, though, right? We know that. Perdomo, this is kind of his first year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember he was an all-star at one point. Not this year. He's been an all-star in the past, but I don't think it's been this as good as this year. Like, this is definitely his coming out party, I would say.
And guess what? Nobody really talks about him a whole lot. And
you don't get love on the West Coast sometimes.
Yeah, and he's goddamn hitting 291, 19 bombs, 98 ribbies, 26 stolen bases. A sneaky 2020 guy with 31 doubles on the year. Leading the team in hits by the next closest person's at 144. Perdomo's at 168. He's got him in 20 hits.
And I mean, his contract got extended at the beginning of the season. I didn't know how that was going to work out with Jordan Lawler, because Ketel's not going anywhere, and Lawler's like this up and coming young guy that's a middle infield. I guess he is going to play third in the future. Maybe, I don't know the whole deal. Who gives a shit? That's for them to decide in the future. But they extended him nonetheless, and they really liked him, and he's been making it, showing everyone why. When do guys ever get extended in a contract and then go out and have a career year right after? Like, it's pretty crazy.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
He's awesome, and I think we cannot give him enough love, because I love the unsung heroes. We should, Monday we're going to talk about our unsung heroes of the year. We got to give them some love.
I like that.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. You talk about how they were sellers at the deadline, the D-backs. Lourdes Gurriel is out with an ACL. He's out for the fucking year. So they have, those are some 3 contributors, right? The corner infielders who they sold at the deadline. You throw Gurriel in the mix, who's out for the year. Those are 3 massive bats in their lineup. Their closer's not there. Shelby Miller, talk about how important arms are down the line. He's a Brewer now. Merrill Kelly's probably like, fuck, why'd you trade me to the Texas Rangers? I want to be on your team. Texas ain't doing shit. So they don't have him. And Merrill's been their best pitcher this year, because Gallen's cleaned it up as of late. But prior to that, Burns not there. And Merrill's kind of was probably considered their ace, low-key.
Yeah, for real. Gallen, much like a Aaron Nola, if you will, has 100% had his up and downs. But also another team, Cincinnati Reds. We talked about them not having. They had some holes in their lineups too, but they kind of cleared it up. You really like the Key Brian Hayes and the what was the other one?
Yeah, Andujar.
And Andujar.
I don't know how they're doing now. Hayes helps him defensively for sure.
And Andujar, his bat was really good when he first got over there. I remember that. But once again, their pitching, we know their pitching is going to be good. We know that pitching in the Central is going to be good for a long time. But, I don't have as much to say about the Cincinnati Reds as I do the Diamondbacks, except the Cincinnati Reds have been shooting themselves in the foot for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, they don't want it. They don't want it. Mets are kind of putting it on a silver platter. They have yet to really take it.
Yeah, they've had so many opportunities. It has to be so frustrating as a Reds fan. It has to be so unbelievably frustrating.
Yeah, maybe I guess so. They have exceeded expectations this year, I think. Maybe not. Maybe this is about where we saw them, but if they go to they make a playoff, then they would have
No,
exceeded
that's a huge
expectations.
that's a huge year for them if they make a
Yeah,
playoff. I think that's a huge stepping stone in a sense.
I agree. Which is Tito's first year, I believe, over there. So
And
big
get
stuff.
Ellie De La Cruz in the playoffs. I mean, come on.
Let's go to the AL East though, because there's a few notable. Well, I guess one notable thing, and it's Crochet versus Scherzer. Blue Jays lost yesterday. Yankees win. Not only do they clinch with a walk-off win yesterday, the Yankees, but they're also one game back behind the Blue Jays for first in that division. Crochet versus Scherzer. You gotta love Crochet. Crochet could make a. This is Crochet's last start of the season. Scooble's last start was yesterday. Crochet might be finishing the year better than Scooble. I don't know what that's going to do for Cy Young stuff. Maybe it's still Scooble, but Crochet might be finishing more on top. Either way, Crochet versus Scherzer. Again, a lot of aces today, so it's win day. It's win day. If you're Boston, you're trying to win this series and kind of get back on track because they might have been in a little bit of a lull as a team. See what Scherzer can do at home. But again, Yankees one game back now with Fried on the bump, and the Yankees have an easy remaining strength of schedule. Max Fried Day. Let's go. See if the Yankees could be tied for first.
Glad you brought up the Boston Red Sox because you know what one is the one series I know that's happening this weekend?
Uh-oh.
Boston Red Sox versus Detroit Tigers.
Is that what it is?
This could be legitimately the battle for the last play. Like one of the this is awesome. This is freaking awesome. And I know they make the standings well before, but you got to think that the Rob Manfred's over there like, wow, this guy cooked. This guy cooked with the standings, the schedule this year. Because that's the bottom two teams in the wild card right now. Is the Red Sox Tigers with the Astros wanting to get back in.
Houston
and
has the last place Angels too over the weekend.
That's gonna be awesome.
I'm
excited about that. That's why we love September baseball. Never sleep on September baseball. We don't sleep.
Nope.
Nobody wakes us up when September ends. We're already awake.
Yep, that's true. Here, let's get into our vibe check there because I don't think we missed anything there, right? Those are all a lot of notable
that's all
matchups
of it, yeah.
with more playoff implications, standings and shit. Playoff implications on the AL side and the NL side too, but 5 out of the 6 teams have already clinched in the National League. So it's really who's that 6th seed. The AL is slowly but surely figuring itself out, but there's still some work to be done, which is going to be crazy next few days. Let's get into our vibe check here. Your buddy by the name of Kyle Schwarber. You've heard of him, right? He's a good player. He's a good player. Well, he hit his 54th home run of the season. Also gave him 130 ribbies this year. It's the first Philly to do that since Ryan Howard. How about that? Good season.
Pretty cool.
And Howard did it in 2009, so it's been some time since the Phillies had this type of slugger.
Yeah, and people were even talking about Kyle maybe getting to beating Howard's record, but I was talking about this with a guy at work. A piece of me didn't want that, right? I wanted Ryan Howard to kind of keep that record. I wanted, the big piece himself to kind of stand alone in Phillies history and keep that. So I'm happy for Kyle about the RBIs, but I'm glad Ryan Howard still has the home run record. And I love Kyle. Kyle, but the inner child in me needed that Ryan Howard one to stay.
Yeah, a little nostalgia there. Well, Schwarber leads the National League in homers. Him and Ohtani kind of been battling for it, but Schwarber with that 54th leads the NL in home runs, and he leads the universe in ribbies at 130. Yeah. So 130 leads the universe in ribbies. Pete Alonso at 123 is second, but 130 big baller numbers there for Schwarber. That's 2 out of the 3 Triple Crown categories that he leads it in.
And he won't touch average.
Yeah, he won't touch average, but this is a good average year for him.
Very good average year
when you look at some of the past years. Okay, let's stick in Philly. Christopher Sanchez, 200 strikeouts, Sean. That's a good milestone for the kid. Really good personal accolade this year. We'll get into more personal accolades as the show progresses. But Sanchez and Luzardo both have 200 Ks. They're the only teammates that have to have 200 strikeouts this year. And guess what? Wheeler was at 195 before he got hurt. That would have been insane. I don't know if there's ever been a trio of teammates with 200, but at the very least, Sanchez and Luzardo getting it done in the K department this year. Sanchez just, hey, welcome to the 200 strikeout club, Christopher.
Pretty freaking cool for Christopher Sanchez. His dominance cannot go unseen anymore. I mean, he's been incredible for us this year. Really stepped up when Wheeler went out. I love him getting some flowers here. He'll finish top 3 in Cy Young. Hopefully, he'll get some first place votes, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, it's going to Skeens. Obviously,
Yep.
but I love Christopher Sanchez getting some love.
Yep, love that. Couple of big strikeout motherfuckers. Now the other thing is we don't have to get into it today, but is Luzardo even going to pitch in the playoffs? I don't know. He maybe could or he should. We're going to see how Nola does. I don't fucking know. We have to probably maybe we'll visit that after the weekend.
We're gonna have to, yeah.
We'll see what happens there. How about this? And everyone wants to talk about Cal Raleigh. Oh, he's making so much history. He's got to win the MVP. So much history. Well, how about this for fucking history for you, folks? Only 2 players have won the batting title and also hit 50-plus home runs in the same season. Judge is 1 homer shy of joining that list. It's an elite list of Jimmy Fox in 1938 and Mickey Mantle in 1956. Those are the only other 2 occurrences where a player has won a batting title and hit 50 home runs in the same season. Judge 1 homer shy of doing that. Judge is a homer guy, so he could very well hit 1 fucking home run in the next 5 days or whatever and join that company. Oh, Cal Riley's making history. He passed Mantle for the switch hitter home runs. Well, guess what? Judge can make history himself.
Which is pretty cool to hit 50 bombs and still have that high of an average. Like, nobody, I can't believe it. Nobody's talking about this because it's just become expected for Judge.
Yeah.
This dude is batting .325 and is going to hit 50 home runs this year. That is fucking insane.
Yep.
That's insane.
With everybody and the OPS, all the slugging numbers, they triumph that of like anybody ever.
Like and guess what? He's better than Ohtani in every single category. He has, except for home runs. Like Ohtani's got him in home runs and triples. That's it.
Yeah, and no one gives a fuck about triples.
Yeah, they're cool. I think they're cool.
They're cool.
But it's crazy to me that nobody's talking about, and it's almost at the point where it's like, oh, it's expected. No, it's not. It's not expected of Judge to hit 50 home runs and bat .325.
Yeah, it may be expected, but certainly unprecedented. I mean,
like it's crazy. Shit. Hit over 300. Yeah, hit 40 home runs. Yeah, he's got 50 bombs over 100 RBIs and is hitting 325.
Yeah, 325 in September. No one's doing that this year. I know we don't value batting average. So
we do.
We do. As a society these days, as a baseball community, maybe we don't as much as we used to. And now we don't see a lot of 300 hitters. I think the fact that you don't see a lot of 300 hitters and the fact that he's doing that, he stands alone in that department. Plus 50 home runs. So it's not like he doesn't compete with the biggest boppers of the world. He fucking certainly does, and everyone knows it. Here's the other thing about Judge making history. Ohtani most likely will be the NL MVP. The AL side is still kind of interesting. Now, we'll talk a little bit about how close he is to 60 home runs, because that's a record that he can get to, or a milestone he can get to. But the thing is, if Judge and Ohtani go back to back, everyone's talking about Cal Raleigh and the milestones in the history. Well, when's the last time, if ever, this is for you, Terrence, has there been repeat fucking MVPs in both leagues? Like, I'm talking the AL and the NL both go back to back. Has that ever fucking happened ever? And if it has, it rarely has happened, and it's probably been a long time. So that's a little history there too. Everyone talks about. So what side of history do you want to be on? The Judge 50 homer batting title, back-to-back MVP. I know people have voter fatigue and shit, whatever you want to say. But hey, you never see back-to-back, not in both leagues at the same time. That's pretty nuts. Or do you want to be on the side of history where Cal Riley's hitting 245 and that's your MVP hitting below 250, which would probably be the first time in history that's ever happened?
I think that's a really good comparison spin, because I don't know if that's ever happened.
Well, it's a little rant.
Have, like, way back in the day.
But because everybody wants to bring up history unless it's at the expense of a Yankee. Yankees get shit on, man. I'm telling you. They do. Everyone wants to talk about history unless it's at the expense of a Yankee. And it's like, oh, Judge. Or everyone talking about valuable. And I was team Cal Riley at a certain point, but shit changes. Much like the dude in our comment section with the Cleveland stuff. Like, he can't fathom the fact that shit changes over the month span. Like, yes, Cleveland was bad. Now they're playing good. And guess what they have? Shit changes. Well, just like how my shit changes in terms of the MVP race. Shit fluctuates, guys. Like, at a certain point, I was team Cal Raleigh. Now it's like, well, you look at where we are in August to September. It's like, yes, it's even July, I guess. But I was like, yes, it's Judge for a little while. I was on Cal Riley's side because of the valuableness of a catcher. And that regimen there. But hey, guess what? Judge is the captain of the Yankees. You're talking about that's not valuable? Grow up, everybody. It's Judge. Are we a Judge MVP podcast?
Yeah,
We both
at this
agree?
point,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
I
It's
agree.
it's you look at the numbers, and if you have any sense, I do believe right now you are onto something a little bit, because like the only reason people can't admit that Cal Riley isn't the MVP is because of voter fatigue, one, and two, because the other guy's a Yankee.
Part of
And
it. And I
uh,
mean, yes, you can really value the homers, and he's doing historic stuff with the homers. He's 2 homers
yeah,
shy
100%.
for
We
60
can't. We're
homers.
not
You
trying
never
to
see that.
take away what Cal Riley is doing. We're not trying to take away from that. We're just saying Judge is doing it better.
It's a more well-rounded season. I agree.
Yeah. So, and this just in, Terrence just got back to me. Never happened before to go like that.
And how about this?
Also,
Oh, go
sorry,
ahead. Go ahead.
go. No, you're going to touch on it right now. I think. Go for it.
Is it the what we talked about before the
Yeah.
program?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a very good chance. So Scooble could probably win the Cy Young. The NL Cy Young will be schemed, so that's different than last year. But Scooble repeat Cy Young. There's a very good chance that we have repeat MVPs. And we talked about this. The way that Cleveland and Stephen Vogt are rolling, I think Pat Murphy's maybe the front runner for the NL. Stephen Vogt for the AL, that would be repeat manager of the year. The only thing that wouldn't be a repeat is the rookie of the year. Sean, how about that?
That is kind of wild.
And the NL Cy Young, but
Yeah.
a lot
But
of
I
repeats.
mean, in years to come, like we could see the same thing next year with the MVPs, one and two. Like Tariq Skubal and there is a good chance that Tariq Skubal and Paul Skeens win the Cy Youngs for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like I don't see them slowing down. They're both young guys. I mean, Skeens, barring like injury on both of them, they're going to be freaking incredible for a long time in my eyes.
You know what's funny? If we would have put like a parlay down or bet on MVPs and maybe Cy Youngs before the season started, and if all we did was take the safe picks, we would have cashed out.
Yeah, for real.
The safe picks would have been Scooble, Skeens, Otani, and Judge, right? Those are all the safe picks and probably favorites. And guess what? When do you ever really see the favorites and go 4 for 4 like that? All the favorites at the beginning of the year to also have a solid season and then actually get the job done. Pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to be a favorite, it's another thing to actually produce and get the job done. So I guess good on them for just being studs. Here, how about this? New news. ABS challenge system will be implemented in the 2026 season, calling balls and strikes. You like this, Sean? What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, how many times did we say it this year? It looks like the umpires just want to lose their job. This is nobody else's fault besides the umpires. It's not. It truly is. They suck so bad this year that they did this. Did I want it? No. But guess what? It's happening because they are so fucking bad.
Oh, that's actually hilarious. That's an original take, I think. I like it.
It is. It is. Who else is to blame? Nobody.
I don't know.
Nobody else to fucking blame.
I think what it is, it's I don't know if I don't know if I hate it. I don't know if I love it. I'll probably get used to it sooner rather than later. But I'm really an old soul in terms of how these rule changes are. I have a graphic here where how like since the start of the decade, all the rule changes and shit like that. Runner on second in 2020 is easily the worst thing. But over some time, we've seen the 12-team postseason. We've seen the pitch timer a few years ago and all that type of shit. Now the newest thing is the ABS challenge system. We've seen it in spring training. We've been in the round of the minor leagues for a long time. We've seen it in spring training. We saw it in the All-Star game. I think you still have the human element, so you still have the umpire calling balls and strikes. I think it's good to get the calls right. You don't want to kind of live and die by the umps making shitty decisions. So you still have the human aspect, but you could try to clean it up a little bit more. So for those reasons, not terribly mad at it. But I am an old soul. I don't want to fucking touch the game too much. But if there are reasons to make it better, if they think that this is going to make it better, then sure. And maybe it does make it better because you're trying to get more calls right, and that they're blowing calls like. That's why a replay came in to begin with. Remember Armando Galarraga? Remember that play?
Mm-hmm.
Blew his perfect game. So to have replays is nice, I guess. You just want to be as accurate as possible and just kind of because I've been giving this a lot of thought. I'm almost like I want the kids just let the kids play, stop with the rule changes, stop with the bullshit. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, if you want the kids to just play, then it has to be as evenly keeled of a game as you can possibly make it. And with that being said, everything has to be correct so the kids can just go out and let the performers actually perform, let the players perform. And maybe this is a way to do that. Not terribly mad at it. And I think you get 2 challenges, right? I think you already get 2 challenges. I'm not totally.
You do.
So this goes to that though. So if you lose your fucking challenge and only the pitcher, catcher, and batter can challenge. You can't get any help from the dugout, and it goes to your challenge. So if you think it's a strike and it's a ball, you lose it. So there's going to be some strategic elements in here too. So maybe it'll be cool.
The one thing that I hate about it is it's been kind of cool in the past to see pitchers pitch to the umpire's strike zone. All strike zones should be the same, yada, 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 whatever. Well, guess what? They aren't. That was a part of the strategy of baseball that made it great to see a pitcher go out there and like, work towards how the umpire is calling the game. It's like a mind game. That's why good catchers are who they are. Yep. Because guess what? They know, okay, this guy's not calling the inside strike. We're going to have to steer away from it. We're going to use this. Like, baseball is just a chess match, in all honesty. And this kind of takes away a little bit from it, I will say. Not a whole lot, though, because like you said, you only get 2 challenges. It's going to piss a lot of umpires off. And guess what? But to my point, it's their fault. They were so fucking bad this year that this is what's happening now.
Well, I think we knew it was coming too, and now it's just become official. So we speculated because it's been in the minor leagues, and we saw in the All-Star game at spring training. They've been testing these things out. And here's another bit too. The main reason that I think I would argue against it, which I'm not like totally against it. I think we'll all be fine in the future, because with these rule changes, I'm always, like I said, I'm an old soul. I don't touch the fucking game, and then these rule changes come into fruition, and guess what? It's like, maybe you didn't change the game all that much anyway. But maybe you did. Who the fuck knows what's going to ultimately happen? The big thing against it for me is that we always talk about, yes, you talk about the chess match. It's also a game of adjustments. And it seems like it's a game of adjustments for everybody except for the umpire. So the umpire has his reputation. He can continue to, feed into his reputation or his ego and not actually make adjustments. If he knows that he's missing the inside part of the plate, he's not going to go back and really watch that and then make adjustments and be better next time. Like, it seems like it's a game of adjustments for everybody except the ump. And that's why I don't really would be my thing against this. But all in all, I don't know if I hate it per se.
They've got umps have seemed to get in, maybe they've always had it. We just haven't noticed. We now know it because we watch a lot more baseball. But they seem to have this power complex to them because, hey, you guys might be getting paid all this $1 million, but guess what? I decide what's going on today.
And a lot of them are probably nerds their whole life. Weren't good enough to make their high school team. They're nerds, and now they have a little bit of power, and you know what they do.
Yeah. There's Jeff Passan tweeted, this was he quote retweeted in one of the umpire auditors. It was Roberto Ortiz missed 25 calls of balls and strikes in the Brewers Padres game. He said this was last night. There are typically around 1,000 missed calls a week. The ABS challenge system is going to get plenty of use, which it is. I mean, these guys are professionals. They know the strike zone pretty damn well. Like, we see it every now and again of guys who are it's dude, that was actually a strike, or no, that was actually a ball. It's frustration builds up, and then they see they are going to have to be smart about it. So it does add a different side of things, which you did bring up that I think is a good point.
And I think it'll also humble some of the hitters and pitchers and shit.
It will, 100%.
It'll humble both parties. But I think when they tested this and they have numbers on it, I think catchers might be the best at actually challenging. Catchers know the shit. But here's the other thing. Major league hitters, you telling me fucking Juan Soto doesn't know his zone? Steven Kwan, he knows his fucking zone.
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
I think you might see a lot of things. And Judge gets a lot of low strikes on him because he's so big. So you might see that's a 1-2 pitch or a 2-1 pitch to Judge. That's the difference sometimes.
It's really becoming a hitter's league.
Yeah.
It's really becoming a hitter's league.
And that's the way they want to go, because it's hard enough to hit a baseball. They want more offense. So there you go. Mm-hmm. So maybe this will help. Maybe it'll also help pitchers too. It'll help fucking everybody. It'll also be interesting to hear the managers like Aaron Boone, who's always getting chucked from arguing balls and strikes. We'll say, hey, Aaron, guess what? Just challenge it or something. Well, he can't challenge it, but his players can. Okay, anyway, let's go to some of our raw reactions. Some stuff happening around the league here. We got a few images, and we'll do a raw reaction. Let's start. We talked a little bit about Philly earlier. Let's stay with Philly. Raw react to this, Sean. Schwarber, Harrison Bader, Ranger Suarez, JT Real Muto. Rank them in order for the importance of the Phillies to re-sign these motherfuckers in the offseason. I think I know who number one should be, huh?
Yeah, well, Kyle can stay there, right?
Yeah.
Kyle can stay there. This is really hard. And I'm going to say something here that people aren't going to like, but Harrison Bader should be at 4th. Harrison Bader has been unbelievable for us this year, right? There is no denying that, people. Do not take my words out of context. Ready? He's like 32 years old. Yes, he's a very good outfielder, but this is the best I've ever seen him play in his entire career right now, right? Do I think this is going to continue? Probably not. Would I like to resign him? Yes. But when you're talking about a starting pitcher who deepens your bullpen when we don't know what is going to happen with Wheeler next year,
Yep.
with Wheeler also on the edge of retiring, Nola just gets a year older. Ranger has
And
been
it's not
solid.
aging well, by the way, Nola. He looks like shit.
Exactly. And Ranger has been super solid for us time and time and time again. It comes in and just completely improves it. So Ranger would be my number 2. And then JT would be my 3, strictly because catcher is one of the most important in baseball. JT still does it at a high level. Hitting has fallen off, but this year he had a pretty damn good hot streak. He's had some good numbers this year. He would fall at 3 for me, and then Harrison Bader would fall at 4.
By the way, is Luzardo on a 1-year deal?
He is.
Okay, so then more important for Ranger. And then, I would agree with you. I mean, it's not a knock on Bader. Someone has to go for. But I also think when you look at the importance of a Schwarber, you look at a guy who deepens a rotation and possibly a bullpen because he's been used in both. You look at some of these playoff runs. You can use him any way you want, and he's a lefty, which is sexy. He'll be a big part. He'll be the number 2 for the playoffs right this year. So that's sexy. That's big. You look at JT being a catcher in this, and I'm not, I don't want to shit on Bader. He's been a bit of a godsend when he got brought here.
100%, yeah.
But at the same time, outfielders, I don't want to downplay it, but they're more easy to come by than some of these other positions. So,
and plus, and
what's the boy in AAA?
Exactly, Justin Crawford. What I was just about to say, we have him coming up. He better be up next year. So the Harrison Bader one isn't, but that's not to take away from what he's doing, right?
Yeah, can't Otto Kemp play a fucking corner?
Yeah, exactly.
They got young guys. The point is they got young guys with your boy. What's his name?
Crawford. They got Marsh. Like Marsh has been playing well this year. I'm sure Kepler will be back next year.
Yeah. The only thing is maybe Nicky goes bye and then you need Bader there.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see what kind of deal Bader wants. In all honesty,
yeah,
that's what it's going to decide.
It's going to come down to that too. It's going to come down to a deal for JT too. I mean, he's going to be an older catcher now, and he looked good at times this year. But the offensive production isn't that of like the best catcher in baseball as he once was. Still very productive.
I'll tell you what, they got a lot of leverage on the Phillies though, because the Phillies do not have a catcher in their organization that's ready to start every single day.
Yeah, no Marchand. Hey, Marchand had a big clinching game, didn't he?
He did.
He was kind of the hero of that game.
He did.
So that's good. Hey, you love to see young contributors play a role in these moments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another raw reaction for you. This is kind of off the beaten path, and I got 2 for you. So this is number 1. This was Joel Sherman's list, and then there's another list for you. So Joel Sherman's list of the top 5 players for the next 3 seasons. So you don't see Judge on this particular list. Because age is going to have something to do with it. Next 3 seasons, it's almost like we could take it. Let's put our own metrics on and say players that you want to build a team around for the next 3 seasons. If you want to be a playoff team for the next 3 years, who you want right now. So age is going to have something to do with it. But you see Joel Sherman, Ohtani, Witt, Skeen, Skubal, Soto in that order. It's a good list.
It's a good list. Yeah, 100%. I actually don't have any qualms with that list. I think over the next 3 years, like Judge is definitely going to be still doing it, right?
Yeah, I think so too. He would be 36 though in 3 years.
Yeah, but this is a good list.
So that's a good list. And then you look at who is this one? Alex Avila's list. He does have Judge on there. So he has Ohtani, Judge, who
Skubal fell off.
Year. No, so they don't have Skubal. Okay, but he has Soto, Witt, Skeens. Now, see, you have guys like who are going to get MVP votes. The Schubers, the Cal Raleighs, and Cal Raleigh, the best catcher in baseball right now. Do you want to, do you value that? He'll also be a 33-year-old catcher the next 3 years. So it's about where do you value these guys?
100%. I don't have any problems with either of those lists. In all honesty, there are a lot of people that I think you could.
Could be 31. Did I say 33? Not 30. He's 28 now. Sorry.
I think there's a lot of people you can swap in and out of these lists. We're lucky right now that it is a big star league in the MLB. There's a lot of really good guys, but I don't have any problem with the top 5 that we got in here.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll's of the world. Any other young stuff?
Jose Ramirez.
So I looked at Jose. He'd be 33, so he'd actually be 36. If you start a team with him now, the next 3 years he'll be 36. But he shows no signs of stopping. So you
can throw like Gunnar in there, Gunnar Henderson, who had a down year this year. Goodness.
I value Bob ahead of him. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you have the Corbin Carrolls who could be on the outside looking in. I like that Skeens is on this because I would value a starting pitcher. I would value Soto, who is almost a veteran at the age of 26, which is crazy to think about.
I mean, shit. What about Julio Rodriguez?
Oh yeah, J-Rod's a good one with like Corbin Carroll. There's some other guys that can make the cusp.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at the next 3 seasons, and if you want to build a team around somebody now, age would have something to do with it. And you look at some of these guys, and yeah, I think they got it pretty right. It's just a matter of do you want Judge on there or not? Does the age bother you? Because the production certainly is shit does not.
Yeah, 100%. But a good list either way. I think that's the first list we've thrown up here, and I actually have not had a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm necessarily mad unless you want to look at some rookies who are really popping off this year. Is
The Lancaster Milkman?
Lancaster Milkman would make the cut.
100%.
Here's a last raw reaction. Stick with kind of a Yankee theme today. We kind of talk about Judge. In this case, we're talking about the bullpen and Devin Williams. Because remember the beginning of the season and the off season, I guess. The beginning of the season is the off season. I guess you could just call it that. But this was This is the trade that was made. Yankees received Devin Williams, Nestor Cortez, Caleb Durbin. Cash considerations go over to Milwaukee. What do you make of this trade in hindsight now that we're a few months later and both teams have clinched? Caleb Durbin's been good. Nestor was a trade deadline piece to the Milwaukee, so who gives a shit there, I guess.
Yeah.
But Caleb Durbin was big, and both teams clinched. Brewers are the best team in baseball, so does this matter at all?
I really thought when I saw this last year, I was like, wow, the Brewers are really not going to be great. Still picked them to win. I got all of my NL predictions right. I got none of my AL predictions right, by the way.
Hey, the Dodgers haven't clinched the division quite yet, Johnny. So
true. But Durbin's been a good piece for the Brewers this year. He really has. And then Devin Williams has had his struggles all year. How's he been recently?
Decent, but not really the ninth inning guy.
Not what he was previously, I'm assuming. But yeah, at the time, I thought this was an idiotic trade and not a fair trade. I thought the Yankees really made out here, even with Devin Williams coming off injury, because he was injured last year, right?
Devin was, yeah.
Yeah. So I think both teams really made out because Durbin's been a solid piece for him.
Yep. The good news is, yeah, he's been better as of late, Devin. But yeah, not the ninth inning guy that they wanted him to be. I think Bednar's been more of their closer as of late, which is nice. You have to establish bullpen roles before the fucking playoffs start, for goodness sake. So it looks like Bednar has stepped into that role, and Devin might be more of a setup man right now. So not the closer that they want. And he's got a nice little contract too for a closer, right? Like he's one of the better guys, or at least entering this season was. And by the way, they changed their facial hair policy to fucking please his fucking ass.
And Durbin's hitting 262 on the year.
Durbin's been good, and he's a very notable rookie. Yeah. A little guy too, good dude. I think he's an interesting story. He could have been he's like a 5'8" dude, could have been like a Division III athlete. I don't know. I'll look more into Caleb Durbin. Don't quote me on that, but good story nonetheless. And now you look at what's been going on here, and I agree with you. You lose Devin Williams if you're Milwaukee, though he was hurt for a good chunk last year, and the only Devin Williams highlight for 2024 was when Pete took him deep in the playoffs. But you lose a high leverage role closer who's considered a top 2, if not the best closer in baseball at a certain point in time, and then maybe top 3. But either way, you also lose Willy Adames at short. I thought this was going to be not a good year for Milwaukee, but guess what? Caleb Durbin's been a fantastic piece. I don't know what the deal was when they traded Nestor, but they used him as leverage and they get cash considerations. And guess what? They're the best team in freaking baseball right now, clinch a division. So good for them. I guess it turns out to be a fairly even trade. If not, maybe the Brewers actually win that trade. You're now with hindsight on our side. Let's go to our last segment today. How cool are these personal accolades? We'll rank these on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll get through some of these personal accolades, and then we'll have a headline to close out the week to end the show. But first, our personal accolades, because we talked about a lot of these team milestones, these team accolades as all these teams try to clinch and shit like that. Well, there's also some players doing some stuff that is kind of cool for them on a personal level. Let's start with this. Rank this 1 to 10. I guess 10's the coolest, and then 1 is just like no one gives a rat's ass. Ohtani. 2 homers shy of a franchise record, Sean. And guess who set the Dodgers franchise record? Shohei Ohtani. Last year. This is only his second year, so he set a Dodgers franchise record homer in his first year there, and now he has a chance. He's 2 homers shy of passing his own record, which is also a Dodgers franchise record. He hit 54 last year to set the record. He's at 53, so 55 would be the new record. Shohei could do it. 1 to 10.
I'll give it like a 7. It is kind of cool. He's been there 2 years, and guess what? He's about to set 2 records.
Yeah, that's true. Round rookie score though. It's a round number.
Oh, are we doing decimal points?
We could. I don't give a shit. But I'm probably around there with you. It's probably around a 7.2. I'll give it a 7.2 because it's kind of Otani's always going to do crazy shit to go 50-something homers in back-to-back years. I just saw a thing with Tatis. I think we talked about it Monday. It was a cutesy little record for Tatis. He had 150th career home run, which cute record, but pretty impressive nonetheless. Good for him. Well, Otani has like over 100. I think he's at 107 homers just in 2 years with the Dodgers alone. So yeah, 50 here, 50 there. It's what he does. So for like shock value, it's like Otani's been doing it, but he's basically setting a record every season. He's doing something new. So cool stuff. I'm with you though. Okay, Cal Raleigh, 2 homers shy of a 60-homer season. Why is that impressive? Well, because it just is. But also because there's only been 9 60-homer seasons in the history of Major League Baseball, and it's only been achieved by 6 different players. He'd be the 5th American League player to have a 60-homer season. He's 2 homers shy of doing it.
Excuse me. 8-4.
Okay, nice.
8-4.
I'll go like 9-4.
That is pretty cool. 60 home runs is kind of insane. I might lean more towards the 9-ish, so I'll go 8-7.
Okay, well he'd be the 10th 60-homer season in the history, and the 5th AL player to do it. He'd be on and now listen, if he goes absolute berserk and goes to 62, that would be the AL record. But he'd be on a list of the Babe Ruth, the Roger Maris, the Judge, and someone else, Mark McGwire for the AL.
Pretty damn cool. He is held now in very, very prominent light and said with some extremely big names.
That's if he gets to 60. So we'll see. Yeah. He's got a few days to get there, and they play Colorado this week. So
yep,
good for him. They have Colorado, bad pitching. So what do you? Yeah, we're out tickling the 9 mark. We averaged about a 9.0 there. Okay, there's another one. Judge, 1 homer shy of a 50-homer season. I think we talked about this. 50-homer it would be his 4th ever 50-homer season. We talked about how impressive it would be to win a batting title and hit 50. But this would also be his 4th career 50-homer season, which puts him on a unique list. Babe Ruth, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, the only players ever to have at least 4 50-homer seasons. He's 1 homer shy of doing that.
I gave Cal an 8.7, so I'll give Judge an 8.4.
Okay, I'll give Judge a 9.5, a little tick above Cal because of the bias.
Yeah, I think both of them are pretty cool, and both of them are very comparable because once again, you're putting yourself in the history books with some of the greatest players of all time.
That's true. Maybe I'll bump Judge up a little bit more because I think it's easier for Judge to hit 1 than Cal to hit 2. Although Cal does homer at a higher rate this year, so maybe it's about even on them actually achieving this because they haven't quite done it yet. But I think for Judge to hit 1 home run in the next few days, what is it? It's what? Today. I don't know if everyone plays Thursday. Then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I don't know if everyone plays Monday. So whatever. There's not a lot of days left for Judge to hit 1 homer. It could certainly be possible. For Cal to hit 2 and get to 60, that would be kind of nuts. But he could certainly do it. Okay, here's Pete Alonso. He's 3 homers shy of his 4th 40 home run season, which is one of the best power hitters. If not, I'd say one of the best power hitters since he's entered the league. And this would just be another notch on his belt. His 4th 40-homer season, 3 homers shy of it.
4.
Yeah, not as cool as the other ones. Plus, he's at 37. He'd probably have to average 1 homer a day just about, right? He needs 3 homers. There's probably about 4 or 5 games left.
Yeah, 5 games, 3 home runs. Yeah, it's like a 1 point whatever. But it's just like an eh.
Yeah, but still cool. We all know him as one of the best power hitters since he's entered the league anyway. So maybe it's this would be a cool little notch on his belt. But again, not as cool as the other ones. I agree. Here's this one: Lindor, his teammate, 1 homer shy of his second 30-30 season, which 30-30 season is always impressive. There hasn't been all that many. I think we kind of downplayed it on Monday.
We did a little bit. It's pretty impressive.
And I think because we've been seeing a spike recently. I think we see it at 30-30 seasons. We've seen it a lot more lately, but there's probably been less than 50 30-30 seasons, and I'm sorry, less than 50 guys to achieve that. But it's happened a plethora of times. Either way, Bobby Witt Jr. is the only other shortstop with multiple 30-30 seasons, so he would be the second shortstop with multiple 30-30 seasons ever.
Pretty damn cool to me. I'd go, but I got to put it below the other two, the home run ones.
1 to 10.
7-6.
Yeah, I'll go.
7-6.
I'll go 7-7, just to be different.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it's cool.
I think it's pretty cool and pretty impressive, even though he's a Met. Still do like Lindor.
Yeah. So yeah, 30-30 guy is pretty cool. It'll be the second time in his career he's done it.
A quiet 30-30 this year.
Yeah, he
hasn't been talked about a whole lot.
Yes, he hit a homer yesterday for number 29 and helped the Mets win that fucking game. Okay, how about this? Yelich, here's your boy, Christian Yelich, 1 homer shy of his second career 30 homer and 100 ribby season. The other time he's done that was his MVP season in 2018. This could be the second time he's done 30 and 100. He's 1 homer shy of doing that. Christian
That's
Yelich.
pretty cool. I'll give him a 7-2 on that because that's an interesting stat. Only other time was his MVP season, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think he's quietly going about his business. I think sometimes you forget about the importance of Christian Yelich on this young, scrappy, fun little Brewers team. Yelich is
the vet.
Yeah, Yelich is the dude. Yelich is the dude in Milwaukee, and I don't know if we always think about that because we're kind of like, oh, look at this clusterfuck of little scrappy motherfuckers. And it's like, well, guess what? Yelich is that dude. And he's telling everybody why he is. Let's go to the pitchers. Garrett Crochet. 1 strikeout shy. I think he pitches tonight, right? So he'll get this most likely. He's 1 strikeout shy of his first career 250 strikeout season. That's a lot of Ks, man.
7-1. No. 7-9.
Okay.
That's pretty impressive. 250 strikeouts. How many times has that been done?
Well, in recent memory,
Terrence.
Who knows? Terrence. How many times? In recent memory, I don't know. But back in the day, you had like
probably a lot.
Well, back in the day, guys would like eat up innings and not get taken out after they go like 7-8 innings casually. And like Randy Johnson was getting like 300 strikeout seasons, but 250 is very impressive. And I think if you look in the this day and age, I don't know. I think maybe Verlander and
no, there's been some recent like Strider's done it, Shane Bieber's done it, DeGrom, Cole. I mean, so these are still really good names: Sale, Kershaw, Scherzer.
Oh, 250. Okay.
Corey Kluber. Corey Kluber.
So what? It happens once every few seasons. Was there anyone last year who did it?
I might have been. When did Strider do it?
Or maybe Sale and Tarek. I don't know. Tarek and Sale were both Triple Crown winners last year. So whatever the fuck they did.
I don't know, but it is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good for you, Garrett Crochet. And his coming out party was basically last year. He signs a nice little deal to be on what we would believe to be a playoff team this year, to be an ace, a horse of that team, and he hasn't disappointed. He's been the best strikeout pitcher.
He's been pretty damn good.
So good for him to solidify to be the best strikeout pitcher and get to the 250K milestone for one season. Really good stuff, Garrett. Fuck you, though, at the same time. I hope they fall. I hope they fall out of playoff contention. Okay, Christopher Sanchez we talked about. This is our last one here. Stick with the pitchers. Christopher Sanchez. Stick with the lefties, too. It's kind of the year of the lefty, low-key. Actually, last year was the year of the lefty. They're both the Cy Young winners were lefties last year. Now look at them. Now there's a lot of lefties kind of coming out and being dogs. Well, Christopher's one of them. 2 strikeouts away from his first 200 strikeout season. He got that yesterday, right? So he got to his first ever 200K season. You look at a couple other guys who are 2 strikeouts away. Rodon is 200 strikeouts away from 200. That'll be his second. Brian Wu, even better. Brian Wu, 2 strikeouts shy of his first 200 strikeout season. So Sanchez gets his first ever 200. Brian Wu gets his he's 2 strikeouts shy of his first ever 200 strikeout season. How about those young guys to 2K?
This is 6-8. Good for them.
200Ks.
6-8. Good for them.
I'll go 6-9. I'll go 6-9.
Hey, what a way to end it. But no, good for them. We always like seeing young guys get their first, or just a general, maybe not even young, but just in general milestones. First thing, something you can hang your hat on, something that you can really be like, hey, I did dominate this year. So good for them. Yeah,
and then Rodon too. So Rodon and Wu were all-stars. Christopher was not. That was a snub, remember?
Yeah.
Well, they're all kind of in the same boat in terms of strikeouts and dominance. Also for Rodon, it'll be a second for the theme of the lefties, Rodon, 2 strikeouts shy of 200. I don't know when he pitches next, but really good stuff there. I want to show him some love because he's had to slowly but surely get to this point of his career because he was really good, came over to the Yankees, had some injuries, wasn't very good, and now fast forward 3 years later, he was an all-star and 200 strikeout pitcher if he gets to that mark. So showing Carlos a little love. And let's end the show, Shawnee, with our headline for the week, for the remaining of the week. What's your headline or your thing to look at this week?
It's what I talked about earlier. It's Tigers Red Sox, baby. This is going to be an insane. It's going to be the best going to be the best series of the week, but if I had to put a headline on it, right? It would be the rise and the fall of the unsung hero.
Ooh.
Tigers were a band of unsung heroes coming into the All-Star break this year, and guess what? They have now since fallen. But guess what? The Guardians, it's like they sucked up all that unsung heroism or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and now they got it all. They drank the magic juice. They are moving and just doing fantastic baseball. And this is the time of September when people make names for themselves, man. And then you go into October and the stars become stars and the legends become legends. So I'm excited to see where this the rest of this season takes us, Spin.
Yeah, there's so many crazy shit happening. You could have a lot of headlines. I like that angle because that's one that isn't getting talked about nearly enough. I almost want to go the obvious route and just say, how about them Guardians, right?
Yeah.
Come on. But you know what? Let me stick with my guys. They clinched yesterday, and they're one game back from tying Toronto in the standings. If Toronto were to lose today and the Yankees are going to win, with Fried on the bump against a bad White Sox team, and Blue Jays have to go against Crochet. Blue Jays haven't really been playing great ball, I don't think, as of late. They allowed the Yankees to get back in it. So my headline is going to be, don't you fuck with Fried. He's on the bump tonight. And don't fuck with him because he's back. And they clinched yesterday. I hope they're not too banged up from their partying last night. I hope Fried comes in, pitches well. They can get their 90th win of the season, and then maybe be because as long as you win this division, Sean, you will have a bye, most likely. Now it's not guaranteed, but right now the Yankees have a better record than Seattle and Cleveland. So, but they don't have a bye.
And we've talked about it before, but how wide open this whole entire year has been. There has never been a clear cut. There still isn't. We're at the back end of September, and there's not a single clear cut person who's going to win the World Series. You could ask 10 different people, and they would give you, 6 different answers, right? Like you could make a case for any one of these guys to win it. Maybe not the Guardians, but or the Mets.
Yeah,
but I mean, still,
the case for Cleveland would be that they're like the hottest team right now.
Exactly,
it's a good time to be the hottest team.
And the Mets, you could say their October success last year.
Yeah, but
that's a stretch.
Yeah, they can hate that, baby. Thanks for tuning in. Mets hating though. Peace out. See you Monday. Hopefully they got more room in the